Once again, we're here in my under reno washroom because it's the only place I have to work at the moment. So this is my pomegranate that dampened off, and it was the only one that lived out of that tray of them that dampened off. And it did really good outside. I pruned it and it grew super well. I was really happy with it. I brought it in the house. It shed all its leaves. They always defoliate with every change. Like when I bring them outside, they defoliate. When I bring them back in, they defoliate. Not sure why. It's just what they do. But this one, I noticed that the tips curled and it acted like it was completely dry, and it was. I've been watering it, but the water's not permeating into the soil, so it wasn't actually getting watered. No idea what caused that. So what I did was I put the basket in a plastic bag, and that way I could fill it with a little bit more water and it won't run off into the boot tray that I keep them in. It stays in here, and then it covers up all the holes, so then it won't evaporate out as fast. So it still feels kind of damp, but it also feels hard. Now this is not the cactus and succulent mix. I think this is just the regular soil that I had used before. So hopefully I can keep it through till I can repot it anyway. I love this little one. It's got some really cool shape to it since it's dampened off. It grew branches in nice places. A couple of them need to be thinned out. So what I'll do today is I'll give it a trim up to take off some of the dead stuff, and it needs to be brought back anyways, and we'll weed it at the same time here. Give it a little cleanup. Yeah. Let's get to it. Still kind of acting like it's water starved. I'm not sure why. I might poke around and loosen up the soil a little bit. See if that helps. I'll give it a good water again when we're done the trim. When I put it back in its place upstairs there. I gotta water everybody anyways. I might just do a few trims this video. So, I have no idea what will end up the actual front of this tree, but it sure does have some wicked movement. Just where it dampened off, and then it curved like this completely on its own. I had nothing to do with that. And for some reason, all the branches are just growing off of one side of this trunk. That I'm not sure why either. It's just a curiosity in itself. A very unique tree. I love it more for that. So we'll follow the trunk up, and we'll start with the main branch here, which isn't really doing much. I'm seeing some buds down here, which is kind of cool. Hopefully some of those come out and we get like maybe a a pad here or something like that. For now, there's 2 branches, which you can see are hurting a little bit. There's a little branch here, and there's buds all the way up here, all the way up. Maybe I can bring you guys in a bit closer to that. Ooh, let me see. Whee! So you can see back here, you can see all the little buds all the way up. And all of those have potential of becoming a branch. And that's what we want. We want lots of little buds. Whee! All right. Where were we? Oh. So, we can cut back to any one of those little buds. And I'm not sure I want to bring it back to something that's not growing out yet. Now, we had a bud grow out here. Unfortunately, it dried out. And we have one here that's partially dried out. I'll take the tip off of that. Pretty much all of them dried out. I still don't know why. Craziness, that's why. So, I'd like this to develop more, but I'd like these to grow in. So, for safety's sake, I'm going to bring it back to here. That way there's enough leaves to keep this branch alive, and then we'll see what buds out there, and then we can always bring it back even more. And believe it or not, these root from cuttings very, very easily, but I already have a million of them, so no savey today. All right, where were we? So if we keep following this branch up, it split into 2 there, and the same thing happened here. It started branching out, and then for some reason the plant dried up. So we're going to bring that dead part off. And I see new buds here. Yeah, definitely new buds there. So I'm just going to nip that tip off, activate those buds, which hopefully will activate something farther down. I see leaf scars and 1 bud down here. We'll see what happens. This one's been really good. Never had any issues. So yes, those are long, those are straight, but it's just the way of this plant, and I have to keep it alive and make sure it does good. So once we get into refinement stage, I can start bringing it back. And I see buds all over the large part of the trunk too, so we'll get her going. Right now we're going to take the calm approach, gentle approach. So it's got another branch coming off right in the middle here, and the part in the direction that I wanted has died. So we've got it growing sort of back into the tree, but I do like this branch here. So I see that there's buds all the way down it, but I want to leave leaves on it. Leave some leaves on it. So I want to have some leaves for security, so, or safety's sake. So I'm going to cut it back to there. And I could put a little guy wire or something like that on there to bring it this way, but I'm just going to wait and see where it grows first. They stay flexible for a long time, so I'm not too worried. And I've never really done any wiring. So if we go farther up, there's two branches pretty much in the same spot. So there's a really large one, well, not really large, but a larger one that has branching upper higher and has died down lower. Just clean that little mark up. And I see that there's buds down here farther too. And then there's a skinnier, smaller branch right beside it. Now, I do want sort of a pad over here, and this could do it, but this one would create more taper, but it's not in line with the rest. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I think the little one has to go just like that. And yes, they grow in line. It's just what the tree does. I'm not sure why, but we want to thicken up the trunks, so I'm going to leave those. Now, if we follow this, if we follow this one up, we have a long monstrosity. So, take the dead parts off. And this little one here kind of looks dead, but there's live buds down here. I'm not sure if I'll keep it that high up, but we're just going to take the dead stuff off first and see what's left. Okay. So we want a nice pad growing out here. So I'm going to take this whole top off and leave this branch, because this branch is spreading out quite nicely. I always leave a little bit for dieback. When they're bigger, you don't really have to, but right now, sometimes they dry down, sometimes they don't. Like this one here. The stub in the middle here didn't dry down. It actually has some buds there. See, you can see it's all green, and it's green all the way up. Just clean that up a little bit. There we go. Okay, where were we? Here. So this one will bring us out nice, hopefully. There's a little new shoot started right here already. So hopefully we'll get that nice pad we want here. And this big empty straight section with this branch just flinging out in the middle of nowhere. I see between these leaves there's new buds there. I'll bring you right back to that. So just like that. So we can go farther up. So we've done this and this and that and that and the other thing. And we'll go farther up. We'll take this pruning stub out. Can we get in there? And we'll go to this side. So there, this also has buds all the way up. They're very short internodes, which is nice. So because of the drying damage, I want to make sure I leave at least one leaf on there. So I'm going to bring it back to this one leaf. And when these buds activate here, and because I know it's really straight, when those buds activate and start to grow out, we can bring it back even more. And the same thing here. That's not a very healthy leaf to leave it to. So we'll have to just nip the tip on this to try and get it to back bud there. It was budding out here, but setbacks are setbacks. We have them. Now this branch here, it had a bud coming out exactly in a good spot, but it didn't make it. So we're going to chop it there anyways and hope for these buds to come back out. This one's not living. This one, the tip died off. Same with this one, tip died. This one gone. So I want to bring this back and I want to bring it back to where there's good life, facing a good direction, which I was hoping kind of would be this way, but we'll compensate and we'll go back to this one. We'll go back to here, like that. I don't want to do any Hail Mary cuts on this one. So we're going to have some long straight sections. We got lots of buds. We just have to make sure that we fix all the issues with this soil drying out, and I'm pretty sure we have, because I'm seeing new growth already, which is nice. You can see a little bud here. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. This one's pretty much died off. It's growing back to the inside anyways. I'll take it off. Poor little thing. It's been through hell and back. Literally. From dampening off to all the other little issues it's had, this poor thing. So yeah. That was just trim back to get it back to health. A little spin. Same. Maybe drop you down a little bit here. Oh, that's as far as we can go. There we go. So I'm not really sure where a front should be. I'm not sure if this will continue to curl around. I did nip the top, so I don't know if the branches will continue going around. I should probably take that one right off, but not today. I'm kind of liking a front somewhere around here. It looks so zigzagged here. Such a cool little tree. This pomegranate. It's coming along nicely, considering it's the only one that made it. Hopefully it keeps its little bend. That'd be nice, eh? Alright, maybe I'll do another trim. So I decided to bring down my other pomegranate. And this is, it's from the same fruit, same time as the other one I just trimmed. And this pomegranate is also from the same fruit and the same, started at the same time as the seeds, all the cupped pomegranates are in. Like this one. You can see the extreme size difference between between the two. And I'm not sure, this one was always the biggest one of all of them. And it was the only one that had the 3 baby leaves. Like when they first come up, they have those little, can't remember what they're called, but baby leaves. So lots of weeds in here too, including some of these little evil bastards here with the fiery seed pods. I do like these little clovers. I'm just going to pick the seed pods off. And I noticed the weeds have some thrips. And I've been using the nematodes, I guess they're called. And those nematode things have actually been working. They've been keeping the population down pretty good. The issue I'm having this year with the trees inside is actually aphids. So the boys decided to grow peppers, like hot peppers, habaneros, and regular green peppers, which are my favorites. And we decided to try and overwinter the pepper plants in the house. And they're doing good. The only problem is they have aphids. They came in with aphids. So I've been working on getting rid of the aphids on there, but then I noticed that my ficus now have aphids, so I'm going to have to pull those out one at a time and fix that up. But that's okay. It's part of the adventure, right? So these little clovers, they literally grow everywhere. So the ones that are hanging over in this basket, I'm just going to trim off. Cute little monsters, let me tell you. Look at that. Going right through the basket. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Okay. I missed a seed pod. Get rid of that. These seed pods are evil. I do have a video that shows them. I caught it on slow motion how these little seeds will shoot pretty darn far like little alien spacecrafts. Okay, so on this guy here, I noticed that, well, he's got some branches that just decided to die off for no reason, which is another thing that these pomegranates tend to do. But I also noticed that on the cut marks, like everywhere I did a big chop, I noticed that it's sprung new growth. Let me see here. Whee! If we look down here, so I took a I took a big branch off of here, and now there's 3 branches growing. I took a branch off of here, and now there's a bunch of sprouts there. And where was the other one? Right here. Right up here. Whoopsie. There we go. You can see there's like a billion new growths right there where I cut that branch off. And it'd be nice to have another branch there, but maybe not so close to this one. Yeah. Whee! So, oh yeah, look all over for my tool and it's in my hand or right where I left it. So, I don't know if I want a branch down here. The bark on this tree is actually coming out real nice. I'm really liking it. I can't seem to get this to thicken up though. Every time I do anything to that apex, it dies back. And this branch is doing a 90-degree. Now we did have a setback with this one too. It was in the greenhouse when the greenhouse flipped. But yeah, I don't think I want anything this low. I want this trunk to be nice before and straight. Well, not straight, but bare. That's more the word I'm looking for. Before the first branch starts. So I'm just going to take all these off. And all these little buds off as well. I'm just going to run my fingernail or thumbnail over it to catch any other buds I missed. I didn't even realize this thing had barked up so nicely. It's got a really nice texture to it. I'm not really a fan of this branch sticking way out, but I don't know if I want to take it off either. It's going to make the tree real flat because it's the only branch coming out a different way. So if we go up the tree, we'll start at the bottom lowest branch here, which has absolutely nothing left on it. I see some swelling here, so maybe we'll get some more branches. This bud on the inside died. So we're just going to stifle back the growth by bringing it back to a couple of leaves there. This one here, let's go up to this one. So this one's got this branch that isn't happy. It doesn't really look like it's alive. Oh yeah, it's alive. Okay. It's alive. We'll leave it alone then. This one going to the inside, we'll remove that because we're starting to get a knuckle here. So we want to try and stifle that knuckle from forming. And there's a whole bunch of extra buds there. I'm just going to pop those off. Now the growth is going this way. I did turn it a couple times, but it was growing through the window, towards the window, so that's why it's like that. This is all indoor growth. That's why the leaves are so far apart. So this is too long, of course. I'm going to bring it back to this leaf here because it's growing in a better direction. And this seems to have died, so there's some buds down at the bottom. Maybe I can get a branch that's shaped a little better. I'm not sure what happened here to cause this, but who knows. I will have to take this branch and this branch off eventually. It's just that the angle is so strange. But this apex just doesn't seem to want to take off for some reason. No idea why. Alright, so we're done this, and we're done this. And we'll go up to this one. And we want to bring all that growth back. Yeah. Craziness. So this one's growing toward the inside. But this one, it looks like it's dead or near dead. So we're going to keep this one. And just bring it back to those live leaves here. And hope that this one comes back. And same with this one. Look very healthy. So I'll bring it back to these healthy leaves and hope it puts back. So if we go higher up, over here, this is the branch I was hoping would live, which is the branch that died, which is just the kind of luck we have. So we're going to have to keep this one. We'll bring it back to, I guess, here, because these are the leaves I want growing that way. And this one, because it's alive, we'll just bring it back to these first leaves, just to keep this branch alive, give it every chance it has there. It does have a couple of buds here that are trying to come out, and it looks like there might be some at the end. So we'll see. Crazy plants, these pomegranates. This one here, and a few people I've given them to also say the same thing. I'm just going to take off some buds here. Some of the pomegranates will grow real nice and they'll be beautiful and keep their leaves and lose them in the fall and grow them back and all that kind of stuff. But some people, and this tree is one of the ones that does it, it'll flush out real nice, grow real good, drop all its leaves for no apparent reason. Sometimes they don't even go yellow first. And then it'll flush out and grow like crazy again. And then be perfect. And then just for no apparent reason, just drop off all its leaves. That's why we have so many sections here with no leaves and stuff like that. It just drops its leaves for no reason. No clue why it does that. Oh, I see a whole bunch of buds coming out of here. 3 of them. We'll see what comes of those. And then this little tiny branch here, I'm just going to nip the tip because those buds are all alive. So hopefully my little apex comes back, because that's actually where I want it to grow out to make the curve. So even though this branch is kind of wonky, it still is the start of the canopy. Hopefully I'll be able to replace this branch and this branch eventually, but you can kind of see the shape where the canopy will start up here. And this will thicken up nice, I'm sure. We'll just pull some of these clovers out away from the trunk. And then I did have moss growing in here. All these patches used to be moss, but as soon as the snow stays on the ground outside, all the moss inside the house just dies all at the same time. It's the strangest thing. Not sure why it does that. But the moss in the aquarium's doing just fine. Still, we're starting to get a little bit of that white moldiness to it, but for the most part it's alive. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna do. Give it a good water when I bring it back upstairs and go from there. Let's see, give you guys a little spin of that. Yeah. Look at that bark. Isn't that nice? It's got really nice texture. Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly where the front is. This one actually went through a setback too, so the main branch that I had for my original front is one of the ones that got chopped off. A fairly decent little tree though. I mean, it's only a couple of years old, like going on 2, or is it 2 now? It'll be going on. Yeah. There's a lot of different ways we could set it. Definitely one of my favorites. Grown from seed. Work with what you get. Work with what it gives you. Yeah, it looks okay there, I think. Eh? A couple of crossing branches, but you can't see those weird angles back there if we have somewhere around here as the front. But you can see the start of a canopy up there. It's going. And we can do some refining later once I figure out how to keep this one from doing the constant diebacks that they do. Yeah. Perfect. Be safe out there, everybody. Thanks for watching.